Folks, this is Zach Hankins here, basically giving you a trade update right now. And today marks the official era of the Jeanie Bus and Magic Johnson connection because Mitch Kupchak has officially been fired from the Los Angeles Lakers organization. He will no longer be the chief operator. And then Jim Buss had to step down from his position. He made a deal. He made an agreement with the Los Angeles Lakers that if he didn't turn this Laker team and make them a playoff team within 3 years from 2014 going up to now, he'll have to step down, which he basically did. He basically handed the team to his sister, so that was the best move. That was the best deal for everybody, and for Laker fans, they're happy now. They can finally have their hopes up. They got a nice team going, and Magic Johnson is going to turn everything around. So basically, this is what's going on in LA right now. This is specifically for my Los Angeles fans. If you're a Laker fan or a Clipper fan, this video is for you. I'm going to update you on what's going on right now in the situation. So with that being said, I think the Lakers have actually made their first move in the trade deadline under Magic Johnson and Jeanie Buss. They basically traded Luis Williams onto the Houston Rockets, and in exchange they got Corey Brewer. And I know Corey Brewer is not the scorer that Luis Williams is, because Luis Williams was excellent for the Lakers coming off the bench and his shooting, averaging 18 points. But I guess Magic Johnson wants more veteranship. They want more playmakers, and Corey Brewer can still get down, even for his age. And I know he's been slowing down a little bit. He's a journeyman, but he is worth still a little bit of something. Okay, he's not going to give you the spectacular shooting that Luis Williams was giving you, but basically Corey Brewer brings in defense. He brings in energy. And that's what the Lakers are going to need. They're going to need more veterans to go along with this younger core. And if you look at the Lakers right now, their lineup is not bad. Okay, Jordan Clarkson, Julius Randle, and Larry Nance Jr., these guys have been actually showing promise. They have the potential right now. They have a potential lineup. Magic Johnson is going to basically surround these guys with more playmakers down the line. Expect for him to make a lot of moves, especially on this offseason, because he's going to be looking to give him at least 2 or 3 All-Stars right now. Timothy Mozgov is coming off a championship year with the Cavaliers. He won his first title. That's going to be well for them, even though they can use another center. But Julius Randle right now, especially Jordan Clarkson along with DeAndre Russell, that's a good backcourt right now. And Larry Nance Jr. is a good facilitator. And Julius Randle, his inside game is developing even more right now. And with Luke Walton, and now I understand Luke Walton is just coming off a year where he won a championship with Golden State 2 years before. So only time will tell if Luke Walton is the right coach for them. But they're looking up right now. Jeanie Buss is definitely going to make this team a contending team before long. I'll give him maybe 1 or 2 more years. This team will be set. And with Kobe Bryant gone, the team is up for grabs, basically. He's retired, so now only time will tell who will take over that team and be the leader. I'm going with Jordan. My money's on Jordan Clarkson right now because even before DeAndre Russell came, Jordan Clarkson was the high scorer of that team. He knows how to run that court. He knows how to. He's mentally sound. He's mentally tough. Jordan Clarkson is comfortable. He doesn't choke under pressure. This man, they need to give him an opportunity he deserves. He works extremely hard, and I can see Jordan Clarkson being a basic franchise player if they don't give it to Russell or if they don't give it to Julius Randle, because Julius Randle is not bad neither. But this team is looking up right now. Now that brings me to the Clippers. Doc Rivers, I understand what he's been trying to do for this team. He's made them a contending team the past 4 or 5 years since after Vidi Del Negro left the building. And since Donald Sterling left, this team has actually been looking good, okay? They've been dangerous. The problem with the Clippers right now is this lineup is just not working out. They need to make a tough decision right now because for some reason, either Blake Griffin has to go or JJ Redick, or they have to trade somebody. It's just their big three has to change. Okay, if they're gonna want to convince Chris Paul to stay, his contract is up, by the way, in this offseason. Him and Blake Griffin's contract is basically expiring right now. And if you understand Chris Paul, if you follow Chris Paul's career, this man wants to contend for a championship. He's tired of losing in the first and second round, being one and done. This man is going to want to start getting in NBA Finals. He's going to want a ring because his time is ticking, okay? He's around 31, 32 years old, around the same age LeBron James, but he doesn't want to be the only player besides his friends, which is LeBron James, Dwayne Wade without a ring. Okay? So I understand Doc Rivers he's going to put in some effort to keep Chris Paul on that team, but if he wants to keep Chris Paul, he's going to convince Chris Paul that they can win a championship. And I don't know if this is going to work out with Blake Griffin. I understand that Blake Griffin meant a lot to the Clipper fans. He's a fan favorite to everybody, especially Doc Rivers. Steve Ballmer likes him. Okay, he's beloved in LA, but it's just not working out. For some reason, Blake Griffin slows down his team. He clogs up the hole. And notice when Blake Griffin was suspended all those games last year, the Clippers actually had a faster lineup. They was a little bit more efficient. They were passing the ball around. They was able to get more shots. So maybe them trading Blake Griffin might be best for this team. And I would actually throw in J.J. Redick as well, because J.J. Redick is not a starting shooting guard. I'm sorry, but he's not what the Clippers need right now. The Clippers need a shooting guard that's going to actually create his own shots. He's going to stay consistent. He's going to average 22 to 23 points a game alongside Chris Paul. Because the problem with CP3, why he's always hurt, the man is doing a whole lot for that team. He's working extra hard. J.J. Redick, all he is a spot-up shooter. He's not going to go to the rim on you. He doesn't have strong enough inside game. Yeah, Crawford has a good inside game. Crawford could do a whole lot, but Crawford is better as their sixth man. You can't even put Jamal Crawford in the starting lineup. So it's a problem with the Clippers right now. They need to make a decision right now. I would trade Blake Griffin and J.J. Redick and put them on the trading block now, since both their contracts going to be expiring, and Doc Rivers needs to go after one of these next three players. As you see before you right now, Jimmy Butler, Paul George, and Carmelo Anthony, especially Carmelo Anthony, are all in trade talks right now. This is who Doc Rivers needs to go after. Any one of those three men would basically put the Clippers in a championship contention right now, where they can basically challenge Golden State to compete in the finals this year, coming out the West. Jimmy Butler, we've seen that he's a forward-sized guard. He's very accelerant in the position he's in. He can rebound you. He can play excellent defense. He's a good shot maker. His 3-point shooting is actually superb. He's a second-time, 3-time All-Star. This man does it all. And I understand for the Bulls fans are going to want to keep Jimmy Butler since Derrick Rose left, but still, you got Fred Hoiberg now. Tom Thibodeau is no longer there. They're going to want to start over once again. It's just not working out with that lineup. Okay, and for Jimmy Butler right now, he's tired of working hard. Jimmy Butler is putting a lot of effort. He's worked extremely hard, but he deserves to be on a championship team right now. I don't see Jimmy Butler talents wasted away in Chicago, especially if they're not going to value him. Now the Clippers might not be able to get Jimmy Butler. It's a long shot for anyway, but the right team, because I know Blake Griffin could work with the Bulls and with their system right now, because Bulls need more defense. They got enough young guys, but they need more defensive guys that could dominate the paint inside. They haven't had a true forward since after Luol Deng left. And even Joakim Noah has left as well. Those guys are going. They need a forward right now. Okay, the way the Bulls is ran, their system is set up, they can easily find another shooting guard. Okay, they can find another point guard, because Rondo is going to be out of there too, but Jimmy Butler, even though he's their franchise player right now, they might be considering trading him. And even the Celtics are eyeing him as well. Paul George. Okay, there's been a lot of reports. There's been a lot of talks. There's been speculation that Paul George is not happy with Indiana at all. He has not signed his long-term deal. Paul George's contract is basically winding up as well. He might leave in the summertime too. So Larry Bird might be looking to trade Paul George while he's still valuable and might want to get something out of him while he still can. Paul George, believe it or not, this puts the Clippers in the championship. Paul George is the key to the Clippers getting to the finals because he's a small forward they've been looking for right now. Okay, the way that Paul George can basically dominate the paint, the way he regulates, the way he controls the offense, the way he controls the tempo, the way he can slow down defense, he's scary for anybody. Paul George in the Western Conference right now puts the fear into anybody. That makes the Clippers dangerous. Paul George and Kevin Durant will be an excellent battle going into the playoff time. A Clipper team with Paul George makes any team scary, and they makes any team fear the Clippers if they have Paul George. With Paul George, Chris Paul, and DeAndre Jordan, that is a scary lineup, and that'll be the best lineup the Clippers can have. And Doc Rivers can make Paul George basically into a champion. And plus, Paul Pierce can mentor Paul George as well, because Paul George will basically have the role Paul Pierce played. Okay, so then all the Clippers will have to do next is find a shooting guard, which they can rotate Raymond Felton or even Austin Rivers into that lineup along with Chris Paul. But they can make it work with Paul George and Carmelo Anthony. Now, if Carmelo Anthony haven't figured out by now, the writing's on the wall. The Knicks no longer need Carmelo Anthony's services no more. Phil Jackson is trying to do all that he can to get Carmelo Anthony out of there. The problem with Carmelo Anthony is that he's trying to stay faithful to his team. He loves New York. He's from New York. He went to Syracuse when he played in the university, but still, it hasn't been working out with Carmelo Anthony at all. The Knicks have to start completely over. Okay, they're not going to do it with Carmelo Anthony at all. It's already bad enough that they even talking about trading Derrick Rose right now. But Carmelo Anthony, the Clippers will actually be better for him because all they need Carmelo Anthony to do is shoot the three. Okay, Carmelo Anthony is not going to play defense. He's not a defensive player. He's the type of player that you use to keep you in the game with his shot selections. Okay, Carmelo Anthony's three-point shooting, the way that he can create his own shots, is good enough to keep anybody on the team. He just needs a set of defensive guys around him. DeAndre Jordan, Chris Paul will work out well along with Maurice Spates or Raymond Felton, Allen Anderson. Those are enough. Even Mama Mute. Okay, those are enough defensive guys that can surround Carmelo Anthony and give him the help needed for him to go for it. With Carmelo Anthony, the Clippers are still just as dangerous as them having Paul George on that team. Carmelo Anthony will keep them inside the game. He'll make it easier for Chris Paul and DeAndre Jordan and for the bench. He'll get a good spark, okay? And for Carmelo Anthony, his wife Lala works in and out of LA anyway. She recently got done doing the New Edition movie. She's constantly doing projects in Los Angeles area where she's working for MTV, BET, or wherever, and wherever she might be, or even a Power movie. Okay, him moving to LA would be the best move right now. And even then, with Magic Johnson now a Los Angeles Laker, with him running things right now, he might want to change his mind. He might want to sign with the Lakers. If the Clippers don't try to get Carmelo Anthony now, the Lakers will. And that's going to be a decision Doc Rivers is going to regret doing. So that's what needs to happen right now. Doc Rivers needs to make a deal with Phil Jackson right now, and he needs to get Carmelo Anthony as soon as possible. If he can't get Jimmy Butler, because Jimmy Butler might be staying in Chicago, it's still a long shot. It's possible Jimmy Butler, he might not get him. And Paul George, there's a possibility they could get him. But if the Clippers can't get Paul George or Jimmy Butler, Carmelo Anthony right now is their best bet. Okay? Having Carmelo Anthony, Paul George, and Jimmy Butler makes the Clippers basically a championship team. And they will have no excuses right now because then with those three, the shooting stays consistently. They have a scorer that can keep them in the game. And then the Clippers have the defense needed already. They're just missing that one playmaker. So this is the trade deadline, and this is what's going on right now with Los Angeles, period. In the offseason, expect Magic Johnson, Jeanie must to be making moves to recruit guys like Paul George especially. They're going to try to go after Carmelo Anthony, and they might work a deal with the Lakers to get Jimmy Butler. Expect them to make moves immediately this offseason. And Doc Rivers, if they want to get to the championship now, they need to make a trade now. They need to basically wise up. And even though it's going to hurt them, you got to do what's best for your team. And if that means giving up Blake Griffin, and I'm sad to say, I like Blake Griffin too, but they need to do what's best for that team. They're in will win now mode. Because if Chris Paul is not happy with the Clippers, then he's going to leave them. He's not going to re-sign his contract, even though if he's highly endorsed. LA loves him. I like Chris Paul in LA, but he needs to get to a championship now. And he might not be able to do it with this Clipper team, and they can't surround him with the right pieces. This is the Afterthought. This is Zach Hankins, and if y'all like this video, hit that subscribe button. There will be more. I'll keep y'all posted if there's any more moves. Stay tuned. I'll see you soon.